Hey y'all, it's your girl Miss Quee. I am popping in for a quick video. Y'all, I am so excited. I'm hands free, y'all. Hands free. So I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for that. And I want to say welcome. If you are new here, please hit the like, share, and subscribe, y'all. As a professional now. And I feel so grateful just to be able to talk to you all and get some things off my chest. Even though, like I always say, I make the videos for me, but it's really just a form of and y'all excuse me for being so close because I be looking. Well, I make these videos for me really just as a reminder of, the things that I have had to overcome and just learning process, growth, creativity. And, I'm proud of myself. So yay for me, y'all. I'm clapping for myself like always. I told y'all I've given myself a standing ovation, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. That's all I can say is I'm grateful. Y'all wanted to dance right now. I'm so grateful. Anyway, y'all, as usual, I never know what I'm going to say. And I always ask God for guidance on, things that I need to be reminded of for myself. And, I always pray that this message helps someone. And the reason I'm kind of like some things that's been on my mind, I recently made a video that I privatized, and I did all of that because when I ask for guidance, I'm encouraged that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm an aspect of God, and I will feel better about myself, even though I'm not insecure, but I will feel better just getting everything off my chest that I want to say. Nothing to self-incriminalize, of course. Not saying I do nothing bad. However, just I will feel release because, a lot of times, especially as a girl, I was conditioned to, speak a certain way. There's certain things that you should and should not say, be seen, not heard. So much. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of you all who can relate to that. And it kind of put me in a shell. And I don't like being closed up. I don't like being controlled. I don't like being told what to do. Except, of course, God. And of course, imagery and being judged and looking at how people will perceive you. When at the end of the day, you won't please everyone. And it is never my intention. It is not my intention to try to please everyone. My only competition is my mirror. And so far, I feel like we on the same team. So shout out to me. But anyway, I say all that to say, because in a video, I was stressing the importance of learning who you are, learning your background. And yesterday, I was blessed to be able to speak with one of my aunts, and I learned some things about her that I didn't know, and it was nice. It was wonderful. And I'm grateful that I got to engage with her in that way. And going back, because of the video that I made, I used one word, and it was a word that it was in my mind, and I felt guilt for saying it. But at the end, I don't feel like I was wrong. I like, my bad. I see I got my stuff working. I don't feel like I was wrong for what I said. And at the same time, I don't want to offend my family because that's like a part of my legacy. And so for me to recap, because I highly doubt that I'm going to go back and unprivatize it. And I'm grateful because it did not get that many views. But I'm going to speak on this one about you all Google the lynching of Anthony Crawford. And while I was making the video, towards the end, I kind of stumbled a little bit because I kept hearing some things outside of the bedroom door. Y'all, I did not know my nephew was listening. He was behind listening because soon as I hit the stop button from recording, he busted in the door. And he saw what I was looking on the other phone, how I had Googled my relative to learn about Anthony Crawford and how he owned 427 acres of land. And after he had an encounter with a white man about the prices of his product, an altercation happened. And my relative, I want to call him uncle, y'all, because I got to go down the list, you know, because I'm a cousin. So my great uncle. Oh, my bad, because I was going to mess up his name. Anthony, my great uncle, Anthony Crawford. I'm about to hit my phone names, y'all. Uh-oh, pause for the calls. Pause. Okay, my bad. And so, like I said, as I was watching, y'all forgive me. Y'all, sometimes I be messing up. I'm not perfect. I'm human. Just trying to bring some joy, creativity, love, all that stuff to myself and to you all. So back to the cause. Focus. My relative, Anthony Crawford, from Abbeville, South Carolina, and I believe because his death occurred on October 21st, 1916. And I'm going off the dome because I'm getting information from relatives as well as what's online on, like I said, Google. And when he had this altercation with the white man, he was jailed. And then 300 white men drug him out of the jail. I read that he was stabbed. I read that he was shot over 200 times. And I read that they drug his body throughout the town. And he was hung. And I don't know who decided, but it was decided that my uncle's land would be, it was voted. It was a vote that decided that my uncle's land would be, I guess, I'm trying to look for the word. I want to say separated, but I read other sources that said that his land was worth, the 427 acres at the time was worth $20,000, and yet it was sold off at an auction for $610, which is an insult to my people, because I also learned that they came after my people, and my people had to flee, and they scattered. Some went up north. Some, we have reunions and stuff to learn about different things, but I don't want to say it destroyed the family legacy, because I wouldn't be here today giving you all this message if it was not for him and for what happened. However, at the same time, I could just only imagine what would have been if those people would have stayed in their place. That man wouldn't have argued with my uncle about the prices of his product. If my uncle still had the 427 acres that he was able to pass down to his generation. Because in the one of the articles I read, that the governor claimed that they could not do anything to help my family. And in the previous video I made, I was angry. I was very, which, that hasn't changed. I'm just more mindful of the words that I'm choosing to use, because like I said, when I finished that video, my nephew was outside the door listening, and he came in and he asked me questions about Anthony Crawford. And he saw that it was a picture. And I showed him. He was like, "That's your relative?" I said, "That's your relative too." And I say all that to say, learn who you are and where you come from, who your people are. And teach the children. When the elders are talking, let them listen. You know, personal, not, y'all know the right information. When they're telling these stories and these, I'm going to say lineages, because I asked another aunt about some information about her dad that was told to me by my uncle who passed away. And my aunt, she said that wasn't true. But I remember, because that was the last conversation I had with my uncle. And that I was an adult. This was the uncle that passed right before my mom and my aunt. And my uncle was so detailed, even using his hand gestures, describing what he was able to tell me about my grandfather from his perspective. And I'm grateful for him for that. And so, going back to, I was thinking, because y'all, they always talk about like reparations. And do I think that that's going to come in the form of like just one big check? No. I hate to speak against it, but it helps to learn who you are. It helps to have paperwork knowing and documentation showing where your people come from, who your lineage is. Forgive me for that. But the last part of that message was because I was upset because of, it's not insulting. They left a marker. It's a marker. I thought it was a statue, but it's a marker indicating what my uncle lost his life over. The fact that 300 men tortured my uncle, my relative, and yet nobody knew what happened, and no one was held accountable for that even to this day. But I believe it was the year 2016, like 100 years later, where they left a marker. So, when anybody goes to the town, they will know who my uncle was. And it reminded me, who was that? Malcolm X, that said they would give you like trinkets and stuff. Oh my man, I got close. They would give you trinkets and things like that instead of real justice. And my question is, where's the real justice for my family? Where's the land that should not have been voted when y'all know it was wrong? They know it was wrong. And like I said, they interact. The people of the town still have descendants there to this day who still interact with the descendants of Anthony Crawford. Oh, my bad. But I don't know. In my mind, what's flowing is that change starts with you. And since I'm talking to the camera, I know that starts with me. Change starts with me. And I'm proud of myself, y'all, because it has not been an easy journey. And I still just say thank you, because I wouldn't have this moment now if it wasn't for everything that I've had to endure. And I'm trying so hard to be the change that I want to see that I'm overthinking. And it's like, Quit, you have your intuition. You know your God, your spirits, your your body, you know. You know what's for you. You feel the change. You when you have certain interactions, you feel it. So trust it. Trust your intuition. And trust God. Knowing that yes, the road might get bumpy. However, you're not alone. God is not going to throw you to the wayside. God knows that you're doing the work. So stop overthinking and just feel your way through life. And let the feeling be love in all that you do. Have compassion in all that you do. Because you know everyone is going through something. Like everyone. And be more empathetic. Empathic. Y'all know the word. Y'all know the word. Forgive me. But just have more empathy to others in their situation. Not saying be a fool. Not saying let people run over you. Assert yourself. Have boundaries. Have structure. And don't allow anyone to bully you. But yeah, I think I think I'm going to end the message there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying. Like I said, this is something new. This is the first time. What y'all think? Y'all like, well, y'all can see my hands. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I really am. I will be posting. It is my intent to post on TikTok a little later. Y'all know I love TikTok. So if you are new here and you have not subscribed, go on, or have not followed, go on over to my TikTok at BADGULQUI, Bad Girl Quee. Excuse me, y'all, excuse me. And I'm going to put it in the description box, below. Also, because y'all right now, I'm only doing I'm only active on like 2 platforms, and this is here on YouTube and TikTok. So if you're here, hit the like button, hit the bell, subscribe to the channel. And y'all, thank y'all for y'all patience, because like I've referenced in another video, people have things to say and yet they're not doing it themselves. So if you all are out here and you all are creating content or doing things, posting stuff, putting yourself out there, and using your voice, using your face, your body, your talents, gifts and skills, I applaud you. I really do, because it's not easy and people don't see the work. And in some areas you have people who are like jealous or get upset, but it's like, if you're not putting in the work, the time, the effort, blood, sweat, and tears, you can't say nothing. Like, fall back to your place. Anyway, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button. Oh, y'all go over to my shop on T.com, and my store name is HHMQ, Her Holiness Miss Quee. And y'all purchase some things. I have more projects in the works, and I'm very excited to share them with you all. So have a wonderful, blessed, beautiful day. Do something to make yourself smile. And that's it. Y'all stay blessed. Love you. Peace. I think that's it.